90th birthday. Happy 90th birthday. The Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu has arrived for his birthday celebrations, and we will show you footage of him as soon as we able to. But there you have live footage from the St. George's Cathedral, and this setting might only be in Cape Town, but the whole world over is celebrating and sending messages of celebrating the Archbishop, who has fought for a free South Africa and seen countless troubles and pain and suffering of people all over the world. The Desmond and Leah Tutu Legacy Foundation having multiple activations across the world, not only in South Africa on this day, but also culminating in that Desmond Tutu International Peace Lecture later on today. This year's special guests, including the Dalai Lama, who is a Nobel Peace Prize, a fellow Nobel Peace Prize, a recipient, and former Irish President Mary Robinson, and many others. We're now joined by the chairman of the Desmond Tutu and Leah Tutu Legacy Foundation, Niclas Kjellstrom-Matseke. He is a duo of chairpersons because the foundation has two chairpersons. Thank you so much for joining us. Just to let our viewers know where you're joining us from today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and it's a true pleasure to be a part of this great celebration of the Arch. We all have special relationships to him. I am in the service of the Tutus. Yes, we are addressing this and celebrating from all over the world, and I'm currently in the Kingdom of Sweden.
So President Cyril Ramaphosa this morning, speaking at the 2021 Sustainable Infrastructure Development Symposium, says that the Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu provided South Africa with a different type of infrastructure that is of ethical, moral, and religious direction. What influence has the Archbishop had globally?
Well, the influence of the Archbishop, obviously, it's difficult to put it into a few words, but it has his influence on us as leaders of business, or leaders of nations, or leaders of families, as fathers and mothers. We get inspired by his deeds and his words and his example, and that gives a pull factor that makes us all want to be a little bit better citizens, human beings, and that is probably where it starts. It's the most important thing of it all, is to be inspired. Then he is helping us with guidance, because as smart as he ever was in school, he never really understood when someone would say, "Be quiet," or "Shut up, Desmond." He never ever will do that.
In fact, we're reminded of those words where he said, "I wish I could shut up, but I just cannot be able to under the circumstances." Now, as we're speaking, we're showing live footage. Apparently, he's arrived for celebrations at the St. George's Cathedral in Cape Town. How significant is it that as we celebrate this giant, and how are we supposed to celebrate him, and how significant is it that as we celebrate him, it's in a church setting?
I think it is important for two reasons to celebrate the Arch. One of the reasons is to actually celebrate the man, the person, and give him our love and our respect. And for us to bring warmth to him. It is his day, after all, and he is turning 90 and opening up for a new decade. But the other reason is, of course, to celebrate what he has accomplished and how he has influenced the rest of us around the world. That is in South Africa. It's the rest of Africa. It is for people in Europe and in Asia and in the Middle East, people in America, there are struggles all over the world. There are division all over the world. And it's also a lot of prejudice. And when we look at what Father has accomplished, very often through his religious deeds and through the church, but also just as a man, and realizing and accepting the fact that every individual is a human being a fellow, a family member, or a foe, then he would look upon all of us as just humans. And with that respect, we tend to sit down and listen to him, and that's how he reaches us and can influence the way we act collectively.
Of course, for various reasons, including old age and health reasons, he's not that active publicly any longer. But you have access to him. Are you able to tell us what his thoughts are in terms of political developments, not only in South Africa, but in the world, and how the world is reacting and responding to the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, you're certainly right there. Father is out of the limelight, so to say, and he is certainly we're trying to take the burden off his shoulders. There are certain times when icons like a Desmond Tutu or a Madiba will lead, but there are times when we will have to take up the rucksack and carry it on, and that's the time now. But again, obviously, Father has influenced me personally throughout, the Matseke family for 4 generations. And recently, we published an article in Financial Times where Father would guide me and say, we need to address the business leaders of this world. They run organizations more powerful than nations today. They must invest responsibly. They must think about sustainability. They must understand people and planet is one. And at the same time, we can say that globally, today, I think we have learned a lesson. We do know that we now are interdependent. We belong to each other. I think the pandemic has shown that. I think also the struggle that we are feeling when it comes to sustainability, that this earth is just the one we have. We need to keep it in order and help the Mother Earth. And Father is the first one to address it. He fully understands holistic sustainability, and I think that's a huge inspiration for all of us. So we should allow for Father to step down, enjoy his day together with Auntie Leah, with his children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and have a relaxful and joyful day today.
And of course, the Peace Lecture taking place tonight. What can we expect? Is he also expected to attend this event?
So this Peace Lecture today is organized by the Desmond and Leah Tutu Legacy Foundation, and with many partners, it's going to be broadcasted globally. The downside, obviously, is that we can't sit together in a building and hug each other and sing together. But everyone can potentially join in and participate, and that's why we have some of the greatest moral leaders as speakers. We have obviously Mama Shell, Grasa Machel. We have President Mary Robinson, who I adore and love as well, and the Dalai Lama, who is obviously one of the icons out there as a moral leader, very much inspired by the Arch, all of us. And tonight, Father will watch this from together with his family and participate in the way that he can. I also spoke with the Tutus this morning, and Auntie Leah and Father was praying, so we didn't want to disturb him, but eventually he came around, and he's excited about this day. He can feel the warmth from all of us, and he is really happy that so many people maybe not care so much about him, but as we do, but the fact that we care about the messages that he has brought us. The fact that justice and fairness and equality and peace and sustainability is important to us, that gives him joy.
We speak today about his overall influence and global influence, but let's speak about an individual, yourself. You say you come from the Matseke family, a very enterprising family in South Africa. As South Africa seeks solutions in terms of how to create jobs in the country and grow the economy, you're a businessman yourself, globally impactful. What sort of answers do you have for both the government and South African citizens about how to grow the economy?
Well, I think that we have all realized how difficult the situation is and how complex it is to get things fixed. But I do wish that whoever is the leader, and currently we have a president that is strongly committed to building back better. It all comes down to people. We need to give people a chance. We need to create job opportunities. We need to embrace the fact that there will be no peace and order unless we have some kind of fairness and equality. That is justice. That is justice on the street. I think the key for me as a father, as a businessman, but also deeply involved in human rights. My grandfather was one of the founding members of the ANC in the days when the focus was only on justice and liberation. My late father lived and died in exile. There's a lot of people who sacrificed a lot to get where we are today. So we cannot diminish the fact that we have made a tremendous we accomplished a lot. But the journey goes on and the struggle is still, unfortunately, very, very present. Jobs. We need to create jobs. We need to develop jobs. And when I'm saying we, it's not only the politicians. I have to do it through my businesses.
We unfortunately have to wrap up due to time constraints, but Niclas Kjellstrom-Matseke, chairperson of the Desmond and Leah Tutu Legacy Foundation, thank you so much for making the time to speak to us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, the